Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob. This video we're going to get back into the conspiracy theory conspiracy theory category. This is another viewer request, and this one we're going to talk about the Montauk Monster. Okay guys, welcome back. So we're going to get right into the thick of this thing. As I start talking to you about this, I'm going to start showing some pictures of this Montauk Monster. And basically in here, we'll start the shots here. Very weird looking, very odd looking creature. And a series of them that washed up on the shore of locations such as Long Island, Brooklyn, and other parts of New York, but mainly Long Island and Brooklyn. And the conspiracy theory with this is that these creatures or animals or whatever the case may be, they basically have been washed ashore after going through a series of tests on Plum Island, which is a small island off the coast of, excuse me here while I pull it up, Norfolk coast of Long Island, about 3 miles long, 1 mile wide as its widest point. It's owned by the government. The whole island is owned by the government. The Department of Homeland Security guards the island from any intrusion. So obviously, it's very well protected. It's supposed to be a disease control center for animals, but the conspiracy over the years, over many years, has been that it's actually been a place for biotesting, using different bioagents on animals to see the results. And as you can see, if this holds true according to those pictures that you just saw, basically it's it's not exactly a place that may be just for holding animal diseases. It could be a place for testing on animals with different bioterrorism weapons. So, and the thing of it is that this has happened quite a bit over the years. These little monsters, and I'll give you a shot of the island right here too. This is a aerial view of the island right there. So, and the thing of it is that this has been going on for years in New York, and it's something that always, of course, has an answer. And I don't necessarily disagree with what the scientists or the skeptics or the debunkers claim these animals to be. For example, the first shot you saw, and I'll pull it back up here real quick, they believe that was a raccoon that suffered from a significant amount of mange and bloating. And I'm not a scientist. I'm not a biologist or things of that nature. I couldn't tell you if that was a raccoon's carcass or not. I don't know the anatomy of a raccoon, so I can't really sit here and say they're lying. I think the concern, regardless, is the amount of times this has happened. This has happened at least, from what I understand, at least 6 times over the course of the last 15 years or so. And I think the general concern is, even if these are legitimate animals, what are they doing to the animals on that island? If they in fact are even coming from there, there's always a chance that they don't. But when you put 2 and 2 together and you think about the location, I mean, some areas of Brooklyn are not that far from Long Island or that island itself. So it's very possible that they could wash up ashore from there. But the thing of it is that, I mean, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell if these are just monsters. I think they could be unidentifiable creatures, and that makes perfect sense. I think my biggest concern is what kind of testing is being done there. Why does the government own the whole island, and why is the Homeland Security guarding it? I mean, what are they keeping a secret there? I mean, you could go, I'm sure you can't just walk in, but you could go to the CDC, I'm sure, and yeah, all right, you can't just waltz in there. But I don't think it's nearly as protected as this place. I mean, this place you can't come within. There's no way you're getting on the island. Once you get to a certain distance away from the island itself, you get cut off by Homeland Security. An interesting, if you want to see an example of that, Jesse Ventura, when he used to have his show, Conspiracy Theories, actually visited this island on the show, and right as he was about to touch ground, he was maybe a couple hundred yards away, he got cut off. They had to turn back. So he never even made it onto the island. So, I mean, and don't get me wrong, there's many government agencies that you just can't waltz in. But here you have an isolated island. The whole place is guarded by the government. And now, and Homeland Security guards it. And now also, it's up for sale. So, because the other rumor I've heard is that they're moving their base locations to, I think it is Kentucky or Kansas, and they're trying to put the place up for sale. Governor Cuomo, at the time of this announcement, requested from the government that they basically clean up, make sure that the island is clean of all potential hazards and things of that nature, and the government themselves is considering moving the location because they are taking into account the potential health risk. I mean, if you think there's potential health risk, then what are you doing there? What is it you're doing that could potentially make you question or potentially jeopardize the health of the people in the surrounding area? I don't know. It is kind of weird. It is definitely something that I think is questionable. I don't think the animals themselves are actual monsters. I think that if there is something sketchy going on there, that obviously these animals have suffered at the hands of these tests and were disposed of. And some of them have washed up ashore. I'm sure there are many that haven't. And that's the conspiracy, is whether or not those are linked. We'll never know. Especially if they move, we'll never really know the answer to that. But we also know that the government is always involved in some sort of shady business. So if it turned out that they were in fact involved in studies and testing that turned animals into what you see in those pictures, would it really surprise us? It wouldn't surprise me. But anyway, that's the Montauk Monster. We might actually be seeing the last of it if and when they sell the island and move their location. And then maybe it'll become the Kansas Monster or something like that, or Kentucky, wherever it is they're moving. But anyway, guys, that's really it for this video. I mean, it's really right to the point. You see the pictures, you know about the island. I will send you a link to the history of the island on Wikipedia. There is some interesting stuff to read there, although it's not a hell of a whole lot. There is a website that I will link to for the Montauk Monster. You can see different pictures of different carcasses that have been found. And after you read all that stuff, you decide for yourself, what do you want to believe? Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.